Hey guys, welcome to the We Need to Calm Down podcast. I'm Devon.
And I'm Joe.
And this is the show where we talk about all things Taylor Swift.
That's right. This is the show where two friends finally get to let their dedication to our Lord and Savior Taylor Swift fly.
We'll be discussing everything from song breakdowns, Taylor news, and our insane fan theories.
That is right.
Joe, I know we both had a rough week last week. Tuesday.
Last week.
Yeah, Tuesday we're fine.
New week. We were on a new
Last
week.
Tuesday.
Last typical Tuesday night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of bounced back pretty great. Pretty happy. I had my birthday this weekend.
Yes.
Just so everyone knows, like this is posting on a Thursday. Tuesday's episode we did was recorded like God knows how long ago. So this one is is actually recent in our lives, thank God. So we can give like an actual update. No, I had a great time. I went out. I got some of the wrong color. I turned red because I went to the beach.
Okay.
I met with a couple of my other friends. A lot of my friends are just born around in September. We're all September babies.
That is Virgo.
Yeah, we're all Virgo.
You're Virgos, yes, because I know a lot of Libras, which is later September.
Yeah, I have one friend that's a Libra, so we didn't invite him because, you know.
You get your own time.
No, it was really great. I had I went out to the beach. I hung out with a friend I hadn't seen in a while and kind of reconnected with her. It was really nice. And then I watched football all day.
I napped when watching football.
Ooh, I got like wings, cheesesteak egg roll. I got like a whole smorgasbord. I cried because all of my teams lost really poorly.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. I had a really great weekend.
Did you go out to see the game or did you stay in?
I would never go out. No. For one, like I went to every Eagles home game for the last 2 years, so I got that out of my system.
Well, I didn't know if you went to like a bar.
No, I won't. I've gone to a couple of bars vaguely recently, but I'm still not 100% comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Like I still feel weird. I'm not like happy about it. It's just like I need some kind of social contact, otherwise I will die one way or the other. So begrudgingly I've gone out to bars, but if I cannot, plus I don't like watching games at bars. Like I've turned into a big football head, and basically the way that I watched the games this week was I had my giant TV with the Panthers game, which is my team. I'm a Panthers fan. I had a projector that was above the TV on my white wall that was red zone, so I could watch every touchdown that happened. And then I had the Eagles on my laptop right next to me. So I had like so much stimuli all day. I was watching so much football. It was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think a lot of our fans give a crap about football.
I was going to say, I was napping during the game. I fell asleep at some point. We were watching the Eagles game. But,
yeah, that's all right. That's a good one to fall asleep during.
I mean, I'm not an Eagles fan.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm also not a football fan.
And that's fair. No, but it was other than that. Did you do anything else of note this weekend?
I went to a park, met up with an old friend.
Yo, I thought you were going to say party, and I was about to whip you.
No, I yelled at my friends for going to a party.
Good.
Yeah.
Park, that sounds nice. That
outdoors.
sounds lovely. Outdoors.
Yes. Strolling, getting through your emotional baggage. It was wonderful.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
do you want to talk about what we're going to talk about today?
Yes, actual Taylor Swift content. So, today's episode, we will be breaking down the track 5 off of Folklore, My Tears Ricochet.
Just a klaxon starts sounding like track 5.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes, jazz hands, as you were saying. So this episode, because I love it so much and because it is a track 5, we are going to break this song up into 2 episodes. We're going to do the song breakdown, so going over quick facts, any context, the music behind the lyrics, anything else. And then a Between the Lines episode, which is where I will be line by line breaking down the meaning of the song, any implications of it, and anything else noteworthy of the lyrics.
And I'll just be here along for the ride.
Well, so let's talk about our rankings really quick. So if we go back, Joe, you had ranked the song number 12 total out of
Yep.
17.
Yep. And the one thing I was saying is like we've been saying it since we started ranking that these things even now can fluctuate, and I know my rankings have definitely fluctuated since our final posting like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I nailed this one. 12's perfect.
No. Okay, anyways, I ranked track 5, my track 5.
I'm amazed that it cracked your top 5.
It's
That's incredible.
so good. So I really didn't like this song a lot at first. I wasn't a huge fan. I thought for track 5, I was like, yeah, okay. But then I listened to it blasted. I understood the meaning behind the song, or the supposed meaning,
Mm-hmm.
and I just fell in love with it. It's skyrocketed. It's wonderful.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. Again, like just because I ranked it low does not mean that it's a bad song. I think it's still a very very good song. Taylor does not put out bad songs. It's
Mm-hmm.
like not like just not who she is as a human being.
Yes.
So it's still very very good. I still very much enjoy it when it comes on. I still like it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to see. Um, yeah, it's just not my favorite on this album, and is not one. I think I've ranked it. I ranked it 54th in all of Taylor Swift songs. That's actually not bad.
This
That's
whole
ranked.
album though is just so good. But
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah. Like it's just you're comparing like if in a real ranking it's like 1.7, like and then like Betty is 1.1 and then Peace is 1. Like they're all number ones, but
yeah.
just by
Gotcha.
smidges of a degree.
Gotcha. So, some quick facts about the song. I'll run through them really quick. It is a track 5. It is our track 5 of folklore. I am so excited. We know how much we both love track 5s. Joe did a whole presentation about track 5s that he's
Still
gonna have
waiting to
to
be able to put out.
that he's gonna have to revise eventually. Um, this is our first Jack Antonoff song off of the album. So he produced this song. It debuted at number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 the week it came out.
That's interesting.
Runtime, it was the week of August something. It might not have been the week it came out, but scrap that. It runs at 4 minutes 16 seconds, and it is Katy Perry's favorite song off the album. So she says.
How do we know that? Where's the cite your source?
What Katy Perry said it. I forget if it was on
Where?
Instagram or Twitter.
Okay.
God.
No, I know like I saw something recently with her. Like their relationship is really coming back.
Well,
Like
Taylor just
she sent her a baby blanket or something.
yeah, she like embroidered it with Baby Bloom.
That's
Her
cute.
little
I like that.
daisy. Yeah.
I like that. I'm glad that like with whatever that like beef was is like gone now. I think that's sweet.
Squashed.
Squash.
All right. So, some context around the song. This is actually the first song Taylor wrote for folklore, and she wrote it by herself. She
The
said,
best
hey,
songs.
boom.
That's her best songs, and the ones that are written
Mm-hmm.
by themselves. See, speak now.
So, about the song, Taylor posted on Instagram, My Tears Ricochet is about an embittered tormentor showing up at the funeral of his fallen object of obsession.
That is a mouthful.
Mm-hmm. Get your dictionaries, kids.
Jesus, Taylor, come on.
Embittered. It's really not that.
Embittered. I mean, that's a good bit. I mean, like you can suss it out,
Yeah.
but it just seems like a really complicated way of saying someone who hated someone showed up at their funeral and because they were obsessed with them. Like there are so many other ways you can say it, and no offense to Taylor, without sounding pretentious. Like
She's just poetic. That's just what it
I
is
don't know.
about her.
Where's the line between poetic and pretentious?
The line does not exist.
That's fair. The limit does not exist.
Yes. Jack Antonoff about the song said, August and My Tears Ricochet are my favorite things we've done together. So I remember reading that before we listened to the
Mm-hmm.
album. And when I listened to both of the songs, I thought, oh my God, August, wonderful, lives up to the hype. My Tears Ricochet, eh, it
Yeah.
wasn't my favorite.
Did at your final rankings, did My Tears Ricochet overtake August at all?
No, August is above.
Okay.
I
Okay,
think
I was gonna
August is
say.
like 3
Yeah,
or
that's
4.
right. That should be
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, for me, like I haven't actually been able to blast it. Like I haven't had a drive that like warranted that yet.
Mm.
I don't really justify blasting Folklore on the way to the grocery store.
Oh, really?
Um,
Oh, I do that all the time.
not really,
I
no.
probably will do that after recording this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. No, it's not like a song that I've ever blasted. It's good, don't get me wrong. It's very lyrically dense, which is great. It's full of metaphor and like allegory and stuff like that, and I think that's really good. I like that it's like laced with all of these double meanings for things and like different interpretations that can be taken from however you view it, and it's
Hmm.
very easy to like once you see a new interpretation to like latch onto it, and like it sprouts like vines into different places that it can go. And I think that aspect of the song is really good, but I think where it really falls flat for me is, sorry Jack, the production. Like it's just not my kind of song. I just gave Devin a headache.
You just gave me a heart attack. Oh,
I'm
my heart
sorry.
dropped. It's
I'm going off of I'm going like there are some parts, don't get me wrong, there's some parts of the production that are like amazing, like the bump bump bump, like the beats and everything in it that like come in towards the end that really like pump you up, like those kinds of things I really enjoy. But like just the overarching theme of the song is just, I hate saying like it's not a bop, and that's why I don't like it. But because I've been fighting that with friends for like the last 2 months. There are no bops on this album. I hate that. I hate that.
You can bop
Uh,
to any song if you
you
try hard
can
enough.
if you try hard. I don't think you can bop to "This Is Me Trying."
That yeah, the beat, the I've been having a hard
No,
time.
you can't. You
I'm
can't bop to a
shining
song while you're
steel color
crying.
rusty. I can. I've done it.
That's called a defense mechanism, Devin.
Yes. And and thought so. Okay.
No, I think it's just, I like the concept of the song, but I think the execution of the song, not that it's bad, it's just not, it didn't lend itself to be my favorite, if that makes sense.
Okay. Because I think for what it tries to do, which I'll talk about in a little bit, I think it does it perfect.
Well, that's not, and that's the thing is, that's not even
Mhm.
to say that what it's trying to do, it doesn't do it well for me, because there's nothing that it's doing wrong. It's just not. It feels like the Archer in a lot of ways,
We have, yeah.
except it's exponentially better than the Archer. Um, and again, not to say the Archer is bad, but this song is a much better song and experience than the Archer is, and but it's still in the same. It's more of in the same vein of the Archer,
Mhm.
and we talked about this in an episode that hasn't come out yet. But I definitely think we lean on a different spectrum. Where,
Yes.
no offense, I mean, you obviously All Too Well is your favorite song, but I think like I gravitate more towards songs that are similar to All Too Well, and you are still okay with songs that are more the Archer than I am.
There's a lot of songs that are more Archer themed. Like
That you enjoy.
what's the one that you hate?
This Is Me Trying.
No, not on this album.
Ooh. Anything on 1989. This Love, Clean, uh,
You don't
How
like
You Get the
Clean?
Girl. It's fine. It's not my favorite. It's got to be This Love
No,
or
it was
Sad, Beautiful, Tragic.
yes. It was sad, beautiful, tragic. You do not like that song, and
Yeah,
I
it's trash.
love that. No, it's so
Sad,
good.
Beautiful, Tragic is my 134th favorite song of Taylor
That is
Swift's,
such a shame. But yeah,
which
so
is,
I gravitate more towards that kind of music. Not as my top, but I still thoroughly enjoy it.
yeah,
Whereas,
you enjoy it more than I enjoy it is
yeah,
basically where we fall on that. Yeah. So
exactly.
and this song I think is a as close to a happy medium between the two views that we have, but it's still for me not quite there.
It's your 12. It's my 5. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Devin, why am I wrong this time?
We gather here. We line up looking at the production of this song. And if I'm on fire,
Oh my god.
you're wrong. Anyways,
Oh,
so
Jesus.
the music behind this song and these lyrics is just so perfect. I think, not to jump ahead of things, but you know, you're at a funeral, you're at a wake,
Yeah.
you're mourning. This song and its production just perfectly encapsulate. I can't
There
say
you
that
go.
word.
You got it.
Encapsulates the theme.
Yeah, you got it right. That's how you say it.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I'm dumb. Please hold. Anyways, it captures this perfect mourning and wake, and you're at this funeral and it's grim and you're just and the
Feels like a movie.
ambiance of it. Exactly. So before I get into all of that, let me just go through some quick musical facts about it. So with the instruments, we have percussion. Of course, Jack Antonoff does the production because he's known for that.
You mean the percussion?
Did I say production?
Yeah, you said production.
Well, he does the production, but
He
he
does
does
the
the
production, but I don't think when
percussion.
I think of Jack Antonoff, I don't think of percussion. Granted, I'm stupid.
He does a
But
lot of good percussion. Percussion and
okay,
like
I
synth
thought of him as a
percussion.
guitarist.
Well, he is, but I mean,
Yeah,
as
that's why.
producer, he does like a lot of, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
interesting. I
he
didn't know
was the
that.
one who thought of the snare on.
That's
Remember
right.
when we did the
And when we
breakdown
did
for
Lover,
Lover?
that's right. Backing vocals.
So Jack does the percussion. He's on a little bit of the backing vocals. He plays piano. He does electric guitar. That's all him. And then we have Evan Smith on saxophone and Bobby Hawk with some strings going on, adding that ambiance. The song is in C major. It is 130 BPM, which is just above the average. I think like 112 or 115 is the average. So I saw this on Reddit, and it's debatable, but for the sake of the theory, I will explain it. At the very beginning, when you hear that choir doing the little ooh things, there's 6 of them. And that's the debatable part. I think it kind of sounds like 7, but for the sake of this argument, it's 6. 6 at the beginning, 6 at the end. And it can symbolize the 6 albums, which we're going to talk about next album, her masters, what she left behind at Big Machine Records, which I think is pretty cool.
I like that.
So those oohs at the beginning, it sounds like a funeral progression or a hymn. It's just so ethereal. It's hauntingly beautiful. It's 22 seconds long, which is a pretty decent amount of intro. Not as long as Peace.
I was gonna say Peace is the only one that has a beat. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Peace is like 40 something seconds.
Peace is a long time.
Yeah, but even the oohs, I was listening on these headphones and it's just panned beautifully. You hear, some low, some high, some mix. It makes it sound so full and so atmospheric. It's like you're in the room, you are staring at the coffin or the grave or the body or the nothing, the picture. You're just there. You're in that moment, which I think is so beautifully.
Can I ask, are you indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
Interesting, because I'm outdoors.
It's a sunlit room.
I'm still outdoors.
Okay.
I envision like the you're at the part where the coffin gets lowered into the ground. Like that's where I'm at.
You know why I think you're indoors?
I'm outdoors, but
no, I said, do you know why I think we're indoors?
oh,
Like
okay.
why I see
well,
it.
one you had the point of the sunlit room thing.
Well, the sunlit room, but when you hear those oohs, it sounds like it's bouncing off walls. It's
that's true. That's a good
you
point.
have like a fuller space, because I feel like if you sang that outdoors, it would just project and you wouldn't have that atmospheric resonance to it.
I get random images of things in my mind when I listen to songs, and it just popped, and that's where it's always been for me. It's just always in outdoors.
So then we go into Taylor actually singing, and you hear these low notes that she sings, weeping in a sunlit room, and just the alto Taylor in this album just slays me. It's so good. And you have this little bit of like warbling synth in the background, just the boom, 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 boom.
I was just going to ask, what does warbling mean? And let me tell you, that was the best definition, like the best explanation for me. Like I immediately knew what it was after you did that. That's perfect. Great. Hi, Jack.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. So we have the synth come in and it's just like, hi, Jack, you're here now. Cool. And we didn't talk about this, but I've talked about it in my head to myself. The vocator. Do you know what a vocator is? Have we talked about this? I think we have.
Not even a little bit.
Okay,
no.
but I'll re-explain. So a vocator, maybe I've just had this conversation in my head, in my imaginary head podcast. But so a vocoder is a type of equipment. I think you can use it like on a MIDI keyboard. It's basically a program that if you record you singing a line or like a vocal part, you record it and then you can hit a different note on the keyboard and it'll just play it in a lower register. And you can add these cool like synthy type effects to your voice so you can manipulate it.
Isn't that what she did in like I think on
Delicate.
Reputation?
The
Yeah.
very beginning of Delicate is
Yeah,
where
yeah.
that sounds like it. So it sounds like either she's using a vocoder or maybe she's just layering some different harmonies with effects on them, but you just don't get the straight tone. You get a cool kind of synthy, textured vocal part to that. Like
Interesting. I
go
like
with
that.
grace, she says, and there's like a little bit extra to it. There's also I know it's I know it's not credited, but if he was producing it, he could have added effects, but it sounds like there's this little xylophone at times. Just like little hits of it like ding ding. Maybe I'm
Uh,
crazy, but
why
I just
is
get
that
like
so funny to me? Like, because especially because in my head, I'm just picturing Jack Antonoff in the studio with a rainbow colored xylophone. Because no other xylophones exist. There are no normal looking xylophones. They all are like red, green, and like bright colors.
you're being sarcastic, right?
No, I mean yes and no. In my head, no other xylophones exist. I'm
Okay.
sure they do,
I was gonna say
but
because yeah, I went to I studied music, so there was a whole big
nice
one.
humble brag.
Yeah, I went to college for it.
Well, I went to a lot of like church stuff where they
Mm-hmm.
had little toys of xylophones, and that's where I know where that is. Anyway,
Well, but I
that's so
feel
interesting. I'm definitely gonna have to listen for that.
if they had an actual xylophone, I feel like they would have credited that in the music. But I think this was
Could
just
just
a plug-in on
I
whatever
was gonna say a
software they were
keyboard.
using.
Like it seems like that's a an easy enough sound to replicate without needing the exact instrument.
Yeah, it's just a plug-in.
Yeah.
And then we have Jack's vocals finally coming in, those backing tracks for the Cursing My Name, Wishing I Stayed right before the bridge. And the reason why I love screaming these words so much, I realize, is because Jack does too. And it's the I can go anywhere I want, just not home. And then the in your bones, he also, it adds this
A-
chest meatiness.
Am I deaf? I never heard his voice.
It's that lower part.
I just assume Taylor can do it all.
I mean, if you manipulate her voice, you could do anything with it. But
I guess I mean like I wasn't listening for it, so I
mhm.
never realized it. Like I just it's very weird like for me because I never imagined Taylor having backing vocals, let alone from a man. Usually I can see like a chorus or like
Well,
a
Out
the
of the
way she does
Woods.
live. Oh yeah,
Are we out of the woods? Yeah, that's him. It's not just him,
interesting,
but it's.
interesting.
And when they do it
I guess I
live, he
just never
does
thought
it.
about it
Yeah.
before. Just never thought about it before. That's interesting. I like that.
hmm
Learning
So
new things every time.
that's my job. That's what I'm here for. And then just
Mm.
the, I can't even talk about it. I get so excited when
You
we
get
talk about.
goosebumps.
I do when we talk about the transition from that last chorus into that bridge. You just get the dun 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 dun. Just those drums and that pattern and the synth is just so classic Jack Antonoff. Like that's just how you know that's his little stamp beside the vocal scoops. That's how you know he's had influence on a song.
The
And
drums are powerful.
it's just so good. It's your heartbeat.
Hmm.
It's like a panic. It's like your mind just goes into a panic and it's like I can go anywhere just not home. And it's deep within you. It impacts your bones. But
That's where I think that's the part of the song that picks up for me and the part that I generally like. Like I think the beginning is slow enough that it like I zone out a little bit, but like then that the drums coming in just like it not only snaps me back into the song, but it like pumps me up and like gets me ready and I'm like, okay, okay, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I
well,
feel
so
it a lot better.
I think you could probably credit that, and I'm just pulling this out of my head, but the first half of the song, you're grieving. You know, she
Mhm.
is
Oh yeah.
grieving this loss and all of that. And just like the stages of grief, from sadness into anger, and you just get this angry, like, piercing beat, and it picks up and your energy kind of picks up, and then at the like acceptance phase, you're back down, you're back to normal. But even at the end of the song, you know, she goes almost a cappella in that post bridge chorus just to bring it back, that, you know, the way that she does, she just brings it back down to make it 10 times more powerful, bringing it back in.
No,
But
definitely.
before
Yeah.
I go on to that, though, um, so when she says, "And when you can't sleep at night, you hear my stolen lullabies," she doesn't even finish the word lullabies. You don't hear that S. You don't hear the. You hear my stolen lullaby, and then it's stolen away. Just imagery, man.
That's the thing I think is the coolest part about production, and like I did earlier, just crap on it. But the thing that I think is interesting, what I love about this section of the show, is I do learn how this production is used to accentuate lyrics and accentuate the stories that they're trying to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I never really noticed. Like it was really cool in the last one, in Exile we talked about like the birds and the siren and things like that they just added in the background, but that's something I never 100% noticed. Like it was always there obviously, but I never
Mm-hmm.
like picked up on it or gave it a second thought if I did accidentally pick up on it in my tiny little male brain. um but yeah, that's awesome. That's a really cool detail.
The end of the song is just, look at how my tears ricochet, and you have this 28-second outro with the ooze again, apparently six of them, and it just fades out. It just fades into a memory. You're done. Goodbye.
She really does use intros and
Farewell.
outros a lot in this album, and like not, I don't want to say she uses silence because obviously there's still music playing, but she uses a lack of lyrics as much as she uses the impact of lyrics, I think,
Mm-hmm.
in this album. And I think that's it, fascinating. Like there's um there's something that I remember reading about stand-up comedians, and trust me, this will come back to where we are, but like the hardest thing for a stand-up comedian to do is to stand on stage in silence,
Mm.
either after a joke or even when there wasn't a joke, when the audience isn't even laughing, just using silence in that way. And like I remember watching a video where people like pointed out like comedians that were able to use silence in like a good way, and I think that kind of translates over to here too, of like and we'll get into it more in peace, but like when you can have a 22-second intro or a 28-second outro, and you listen, like whoever who's listening listens to the whole thing, like especially with the attention span, with my attention span, um, wanting to just get into the song, wanting to just get to the next song or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it shows a lot, especially in them putting that silence in the middle of the song too, which is something I think we might want to look at maybe down the line somewhere. But I think that's an interesting thing to note, and I'm glad you pointed those two things out.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is my musical analysis of My Tears Ricochet.
Lovely, lovely, fantastic job, Devin.
Thank you.
Killing it as always.
Mm.
Do you have anything in closing you want to say? Do you want to like berate me a little bit for my
I
opinions?
kind of
What do you got?
do. I was
Go
just
for
going
it.
to say,
Go
I
for it. Let
kind
me
of
have it.
just, it's
Let
just,
me have it.
you really need to listen to this album blaring. You
Wait, what?
do.
Oh, I thought you were just ending it at, I don't even believe that you've actually listened to this album yet.
As if we didn't listen to it live together. You were just basing your reaction off of my reaction, like,
Joke's on you.
oh,
I'm not even a Taylor Swift fan.
been coasting off this entire podcast.
I just have recording equipment that I had nothing to do with. No, I agree. I think it would be fun if like I want to do like a trip where I have like an hour, 2 hour drive or something, and I just drive and just put this album on repeat and max volume, windows
Mm-hmm.
down, sunglasses on, all that stuff.
It's
I
just,
think I think that would be healthy for me. No, I think that would be a cool way to experience this album, and I think it is something I need to do. Um, but with everything going on, I just haven't had the time.
It's honestly very cathartic. I mean, just taking an hour drive. You don't even have to do all the songs because I mean, you don't really need to blare Mirror Ball. You don't have to blare Invisible Strings. Like, there's certain songs that are blare worthy, and this song is one of them.
I think both of the songs you mentioned are, as you put it, blare worthy.
Mirror Ball? Maybe
I
the
think Mirrorball. Well, how did we get here? Where I'm defending Mirrorball and you're speaking on it with derision. What happened? Where did we come from? Where did we go?
Maybe. I mean,
where did we come from? Cotton Eye Joe.
Shut up. I think if you're gonna blare Mirror Ball, you're gonna have an existential crisis. I think that's the kind of
already there. Yeah. Already there.
Like that, I could argue. Invisible String.
Invisible String is just fun. Maybe you want to be positive, loudly.
See, I don't blare songs that I'm happy to, unless it's like a dance song, which I guess. But yeah.
What?
But if I want to feel, I am cranking that volume.
I'm just gonna break this down. What you just said. Sorry, we're gonna go to a little bit of a therapy and into Devon's mind right now. What Devon just said is, when I want to feel, I blast things loudly, but I don't blast happy things. So Devon, in other words, I don't ever want to feel happy. That's exactly what you just said.
Well, no, because I blare Charlie XCX and I dance my little tush off. So I just contradicted myself. Let's just move on. Blare this song. That's all you need to Devon. Know. Joe, take us home.
Thank you, Devon. Please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review and rate us. That really, really helps us, guys. We're really trying to get a push to get more ratings and more reviews. So please, if you like us, tell a friend about us. Tell them to rate us. If you have a friend that will just do whatever you say, tell them to give us a 5-star rating without listening to us. I mean, they trust your judgment.
Yeah, and follow us on social media and on YouTube. We are at We Need to Calm Down Podcast on pretty much everything except for Twitter. There we are, WNTCD Podcast. There we go. Leave a comment, DM us, subscribe on YouTube. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment on our posts, share our posts, interact with us on social media. Like Joe said, similarly, it really helps us. If you just want to put thumbs up, put a thumbs up. Helps us out.
Other than that, we are so grateful if you guys listen to us. We'll be back next Tuesday. Come back. We'll be here.